All right, everyone. Supposedly the DOJ foiled a plot to kill Donald Trump. Yes, those devious Iranians are always trying to beat him in the head. I would note that there have been a couple of assassination attempts and they had nothing to do with Iran. In fact, the closest anyone came to actually pulling that off is just some scraggly leftoid on a 15-degree roof. Magically, he was able to scale it when nobody else particularly could. And would have killed Trump, actually, if he hadn't turned around at exactly the moment that he turned around again. Rather mimetic. I do not believe that the Iranians possess the logistical capabilities to take Trump out. They'd have to draft somebody homegrown. Otherwise, there'd be a bit of a logistic problem there. And I can't imagine why they would want to. Trump is definitely going to hardline the region, the Middle East, but the last time that he hardlined the region, it was to take out ISIS. And that was partially stepping back and allowing the Iranians to actually go in and use their firepower to clean up ISIS. They did that mainly on behalf of the Syrian government, but it was helpful, and ISIS now truly is the JV team. Whereas when Obama uttered those words, it was a lie, and ISIS proceeded to overrun, entire provinces. And was, actively planning to form a caliphate. In the end, it was Trump that put the kibosh to that. How did he do it? By stepping back, talking to Russia and Iran and the Taliban and groups like that and saying, hey, these guys are trying to muscle in on your territory. We don't have a problem with you clearing them out, though. Go ahead and debilitate them. And it worked. So I can't imagine why the Iranians would have a particular animus against Trump except over his support of Israel, mainly. Other than that, logistically speaking, Trump is less of the red line in the sander than people like Obama or Biden, actually. It's quite interesting to see. The foreign policy makes a lot more sense. Now, I have a feeling that the deep state wants to kill Donald Trump. I do not doubt that there will be at least one more assassination attempt over the next few years, possibly multiple. And it won't come from Iran. It'll come from federal agencies and their assets or something like that. But they're going to try to do one thing. By unleashing this story right after Trump is elected, what they're doing is predictive programming. They're telling people the Iranians are interested in killing Donald Trump. Now all they have to do is find the right asset to be in the right place at the right time, with any ties to the Middle East at all. And ta-da, you've killed the person who's trying to axe the Uniparty, now you get your war with Iran, which the deep state has wanted for decades. You can see their statements in their own words if you want evidence of this. So you start a war and you knock off the person that's become a hassle for you in the domestic sense. Somebody who is not playing according to the rules of the game that you've carefully structured over the course of multiple decades. I believe that they're trying to kill Donald Trump, but I don't believe that the Iranians in the homegrown organic sense are nuts enough to try to do that, because they know that it'll cause a war that they can't possibly win. At that point, Russia would not get involved. They're too busy elsewhere. You had Trump's peace plan the other day, the proposal with regards to a British and European-controlled buffer zone around Ukraine with denial of NATO membership for several decades, and we'll see how that works out. I'm not going to bother weighing in on that until all of the details are known, because it's like, oh, this could work. There are some concerns with it, potentially, but we'll wait and see, basically. Also, we got to make sure that he sort of finalizes exactly where that buffer zone is going to be, because right now it looks slightly tenuous. We're not exactly sure. I do not believe that the Iranians are giving serious consideration to killing Donald Trump. But I know that there are people in the deep state that want to kill Donald Trump. For example, in Butler, what happened? An individual with a rifle was able to enter the soft security zone because of a deliberate lack of coordination between the Secret Service and local police and stateies that were patrolling that outer ring. There was a deliberate breakdown of information. We know this. It came out not that many weeks ago. The Secret Service didn't even hold an informal goddamn meeting for half an hour with these people to say, hey, here's the number so that if you see anything fishy, we know to get the President of the United States out of there. He's now the President-elect. No, never happened. Very abnormal, now isn't it? And, this person was a little bit on the radar, having made violent threats and so forth before, and so they knew who this person was. They simply allowed it to happen and hope for the best. And in their case, the best would be Donald Trump getting his head blown off on live TV. They probably would have blamed that on Iran too. So I don't believe this at all. I'm not going to believe the goddamn DOJ. If anything, the only thing in the last few days that's kind of rankled me is Donald Trump with his address the other day with regards to tech censorship and free expression, saying that he's going to have the DOJ and conduct an investigation. You don't want to rely on them. Get an outside third-party group and give them legal latitude to look into the DOJ as well, or something like that. I don't think you can really rely upon them, Big Don. Sorry, but they're not your friends. I think Trump knows this, by the way. He's just going by standard methodology. And no, the deep state wants to kill Trump. Whose toys is Trump breaking? Has he invaded the Iranians? Has he threatened to invade Iran? Or has he held to, historically speaking, a relatively normative line on foreign policy related to that region, Iran and Israel and so forth, that's been held by every president the whole time anyway? Why would they single-mindedly fixate on trying to kill him when every other president going back to the 1970s has basically had the same principles and ethos? It doesn't make any sense. But there is one difference here, which is that Donald Trump is not a member of the deep state. It's the deep state that has a reason to kill him, because he's trying to break their toys. As far as Iran is concerned, Trump is just going to sit back and say, maybe we can get a peace deal. He failed the first time. He'd probably fail again. He should probably just pivot to Korea. But I don't think that things get so terribly exacerbated in the region because Donald Trump happens to be president that sort of thing occurs. If anything, democratic regimes, certainly if Kamala got in there, she would have been heavily tempted to start a war with Iran because it would be a major war. It would be a major diplomatic sort of contest, and she can belly up to the bar and say, I'm one of the boys, and I got the toys that make the noise. I'm female, so I have to distinguish myself as a good war leader. She would have felt pressured to do that. She would have been advised by the military brass and the corporatists seeking to turn that blood into money. She would have been pressured by him, but Trump's already been in there. He can't be pressured in that sense. He's got all the money, so he doesn't give a fuck about that. He can't run again for re-election, so he doesn't give a fuck about the political optics. Why would he start a war with the Iranians? Wouldn't make any sense. By the way, if he did, I would oppose it completely. It's a terrible idea. Donald Trump is the one that came out, excoriated Liz Cheney, called her a warmonger and said, hey, why doesn't she go off and fight? That's the kind of note that we should be striking in foreign policy. It's a note of strength. Basically, I don't want to fuck with you. If you fuck with me, though, I'm going to turn your nation into a parking lot. Knowing this, why would you assassinate such a person? It wouldn't make any sense. Iran is capable of doing the cross-border shuffle with Israel, and they trade jabs occasionally, and 90% of the munitions are knocked out of the sky on both ends, and nobody really cares. And then they take a step back. They've been doing this over and over again since this war began. Trump's foreign policy would basically be, shrug your shoulders, yeah, we support Israel, but, we're not going to do anything about this. Whereas the uniparty logic is, we should invade Iran tomorrow. Yes, it'll be wonderful. What a wonderful world it will be when there are another 100,000 dead U.S. soldiers or something like that. Trump is the one that's averse to that. Why the hell would they want to fuck with Donald Trump? No, it's the uniparty that wants to fuck with him. They've already tried it twice. The Secret Service probably was reluctant to get involved when that other rifleman was there at the Mar-a-Lago golf course. Probably was like, can we get away with ignoring this dude for the next 120 seconds or something? Because that's probably about how long it'll take him to get to that tree over there to take a clear shot. Yeah, but there are cameras around, and probably they noticed that we've noticed that he's there. Shit. That's what happened. They're the ones trying to kill him, not the Iranians. That's about all. Peace out.